La Liga Lounge, it's for the boys. Dan and Houston on again. La Liga Lounge, round up the boys. Tell your wife and tell your friends. We play for keeps and every week we tell it like it is. La Liga Lounge, when all is said and done, we can all agree. FTC.
Welcome back, gentlemen. Another episode of the La Liga Lounge coming at you. Me and Houston, as always. Josh behind the mic, and special guest today, Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
Thank you guys for having me on. Beautiful day to be with the boys on La Liga Lounge. Can I get an F, by the way?
Oh,
Oh,
see?
F.
T?
See you for the next 30 minutes, guys, because we got a podcast to do, and we're doing this early in the show. Gosh, wow. Jeff really taking us for a segue there. Jesus. Welcome, Jeff. Jeff, are you in
Rattles.
Vegas too right now?
Sorry, what was that, Hughes?
Are you in Vegas right now?
I am in Vegas right now.
Getting the odds for La Liga. I love it. So let's jump into it. We don't need a super long episode. We've been going over a bit, and Josh hasn't been posting a lot. So Eric goes a chug, but due to Eric's situation, Dan and we're going to do a chug for him. I got a little IPA here, so it's going to go down bubbly. But Dan will just get to this. So, Eric, you're welcome. We're going to talk about the leg in a second.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I never had to do one of these before, so I really wanted to do it. So happy to do it for you, Eric.
Yeah, our team's doing it. Mine kind of does. Bubbly.
Oh,
That was impressive. You guys finished at the same time.
oh, that was cold.
Jeff, two little zingers there to start. I like it.
Yeah, we did one pre-show, Jeff, just to get the timing right. So we nailed it.
Oh.
All right, so Eric
we lasted longer the second time.
Eric owed the chug. We got that done. Houston, next up on the topics here is the parlay posse is what Josh has got it called here. I don't really love the name. We need something better. Find something better, boys.
We're
Houston,
coming up with
update us on
something
the
new
name.
every week, so just to see if it sticks, So
I like
it's a
it.
work in progress.
Yeah,
And
we'll find
Josh
it. We'll
is
find
too
it.
much of a goody goody to use pussy parlay, but maybe you are the pussy of the week. So, anyways, the parlay, I'm going to run through it and run what was a win and what wasn't, and then I'm going to talk about Forbes and how he fucked up because he doesn't have an app. You should just Venmoed somebody with the right app to get the right bets in. We did well this week, guys. Aaron Jones, 60 rushing yards. Check. Alvin Kamara, anytime TD. No touchdown. The bet was actually 4.5 receptions by Josh. He had 5 catches that game. But Forbes couldn't find it because he didn't have the fucking app, even though he lives in Michigan. So he just put touchdown score. Okay. Chargers minus 6.5. That was yours, Dan, right? Check.
No,
Yes.
that was mine.
Somebody had it. Jets money line by, I know that was by our FTC.
FTC for sure on that one.
That was our true one loss. Matthew Stafford passing yards 250. Check. 3 picks from the Lions games. Jahmyr Gibbs 70 rushing yards. Check. Under 82 mixed in rushing yards. Check. Over 48.5 points for the game. Check. And that was like I think $2,000 to be split among 7 people.
That would have been nice.
Fuck you, Forbes, and fuck you, Kevin. It's their fault. It's their fault.
Yep. All right, that's the parlay, boys. We were close, but no cigar.
So Eric, I don't think it's legal in Georgia. So here's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Venmo Dan or me $10. We're gonna get the bet in for you. So guys, lay your bets into the group me. Someone's gonna get this in. Okay, let's get it done.
Houston, I almost feel like Houston. You should just be like the.
Just do it every week.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that. And someone just
Get my
Venmoed you
dynasty
$10
reward
every.
points up. Yeah, I'm trying to get to gold tier.
Yeah, you can get those points, dude. I say.
Right.
I think that's a good system.
I
Honestly,
like.
that way we
We'll
keep
change
it
it to this.
consistent.
Houston will take the Venmo, and I will place the bet. Get the bet slip. I'll be on top of it.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right. Week 10 summary here, Houston. We had a lot of good games. A lot of good games last week.
Yeah.
Some very big ones were played. I got to get to the right screen here so I can start talking. But lead it off with me beating Anthony was a nice one. Basically won on Thursday night. Let's be real. I had fucking 50 points from Jamar Chase, 35 from Burrow. So tough one for Anthony there. Nice win for me. Moving on though, because there's a lot of other good games there. Hughes, you want to pick one?
Fuck, I'm gonna pick my game. Bitched about it a bit. Lost
Yeah.
by 1.1 points to Murphy. It came down the last Monday night game. I had Kyron, he had Tua. We were more or less tied. We both actually had negative points in the game by both our players due to fumbles and picks. And Murph came out with the win. Shady performances by both guys, but Murph came out with the win. I'm 4-6. We're gonna get into that though later.
Yep.
But really could have used that.
Jeff, what about you, man? What game did you see out here in week 10?
Oh man, well, Dan, the reason I started the podcast off with the FTC is because I literally fucked the commissioner
Fuck
with
yeah.
that 40 burger that I laid on him. Lamar Jackson leading the way. With Kevin kind of scared me when Chase Brown had a good game, but Daniel Jones is not a real quarterback in the league. And that really sealed the deal for me. So
That's a wild start by Kevin. He started Daniel Jones for real.
yeah, he did. I don't
Wow,
know.
Kevin's having a rough year. He's having a rough year, man. He's having a rough year.
Yeah, so hey,
Gee.
look, I will say I want to rub it in only because I'm 2-10-1 in him overall.
Yeah.
So he's got
Yeah.
bragging rights. He's Michigan. I'm Ohio State in this equation.
Nice. I was sad I didn't get that opportunity to do that last week, Jeff, when I played Kevin, because I really wanted. You ended the season, and that's glorious feeling. So good for
Yeah.
you, buddy. Good for you. Other games in week 10. Ruben got the dub over Forbes. Nice win for Ruben. Timmy getting the dub over Max. And what's the other one? Oh, Josh. Josh getting a nice win over Eric as well. So some big games there. Leading us into
And
the.
well, I was just gonna say before that, Anthony lost after being on the podcast, which Josh hasn't posted. I think he's gonna post it tonight. He'll post this Thursday. That was kind of the Forbes point of, has anyone done the study of every person that's on the podcast the next week they lose? Kind of like when you play the Lions, you lose the next week because you're worn out.
Yeah, people get on the show and they just start feeling themselves from the spotlight, They can't. It's hard for them to handle all the shine, I think.
Jeff, you got to break the curse this week.
I mean, well, if you air me and Anthony on the same week, does the curse count for both of us?
It's a fair point. It's a
That is
fair
fair.
point. Jeff, you got a big game coming up against Anthony this week, right?
I mean, yeah, it's the battle for fifth place essentially. Shoot, man, we're looking pretty close here. Me and Ant both have some good teams that are gonna be middling and fighting our way through to the playoffs. But this
Maybe we combine that with our we got 2 segments left, who's in, who's out, and matchup of the week. Maybe we
Yep.
combine those 2 topics here. So
Yeah.
Jeff, we'll start with you. Matchup of the week and who's in, who's out. So who's in, who's out right now, standings. We look at them. Maybe we'll go who's in, who's out, then matchup of the week. But they might overlap. So right now, Jeff, you are the last playoff team.
hmm
As of right now, if the season were to end today at 5-5. Who's in, who's out? Who's one guy that's going to be? Let's start with who's out. Who's going to fall? You and above. You got you, Anthony, Timmy, Dan, Ruben, Joshua.
Yeah, so I mean, look, if Ruben and Josh lose out, they still probably make the playoffs. So they're pretty unrealistic there. So it's between me, Dan, Timbo, and man, I think all four of us have pretty equal teams. So this is like the world's worst coin flip. Can't count out Timmy because he's got that magic. Dan's on a ripper right now, and I can't choose myself. So I'm sorry, Ant. I think it's you. You're doing too much world traveling, and so I think that's what's gonna jack your plans up come week 12 and beyond. So look out, Ant.
Well, that's what we've been saying. I feel like he might be Dan's in because he's just stuck around after criticism and not watching the podcast, checking the group me, giving
Yeah.
a leg. But
Yeah,
somebody messes to chug his beer, and he actually chugs his beer better and more timely than anyone else. So kudos to that, Anthony. My out. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm sorry. I think it's you, Dan.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's like you look at Timmy, Dan, Ruben, Josh, top four, 83% to make the playoffs, 86, 98, 99. So Dan, you have an 86% chance to make the playoffs. You need to lose out as well as the right people win.
Basically, yeah.
I think you're going to, man. You've won too many. You're what, 6-1 in your last couple of games after starting 0-2, 0-3?
0-3, yeah. Yeah.
0-3, unbelievable. Yeah, you've been 6-1 in your last 7 games.
The only thing about Dan's schedule is he plays Timmy, then he plays Max, but then he plays Jeff and Ruben. So he's got 3 out of 4
Not
matchups in
easy.
the top 6. Yeah, not easy at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
I would love a simulation where you could like enter the winners and losers of the week each week and just like simulate it out. Okay, what if Dan goes 1-3? What would happen? Give his odds then, right? 'Cause you could be, oh man, I don't know. CMC heating up. I think Max takes you. Yeah, I think you're gonna. I think
Well,
you're gonna go 3, and you're gonna be on the fringe.
Wow.
Fringe.
Wow.
That's my
Yeah,
out.
well,
Who's your out,
I
Dan?
mean, it could happen, but I don't think it's gonna be me, Houston. I think it's gonna be. I said pre-show that I can't hate on Anthony's team anymore, but I'm gonna hate on Anthony's team again. I do think it's gonna be Anthony. I think the 4 points against tell the story there, and Anthony's team has been overperforming. I kind of exposed him last week. Shouldn't say I exposed him, but I beat him last week, which ended his 5-game win streak. So he's off that heater he was on, and I could see it. I could just, I can see he's got a tough game against Jeff coming up right now, where that game should be tight, and it can slip pretty easily at 6-4 to Houston's point. I'm sitting at 6-4 too, but
Dan, do you think
yeah,
that the Bengals' chances of making the playoffs, like if they lose to the Chargers this week, then they're on the bye when you play Max, so that's good for you. But then they play Pittsburgh, so they're just. I mean, if they lose, do you feel like they'll have the same production that they have been having? Like if they have no shot to make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, that could be a thing. Yeah, no doubt about it, dude. No doubt about it. That for him and for neighbors on the Giants too. So,
Not about it.
anyways, that's our who's out. So who's in then?
Who's in? Start back with
Yeah.
you, Jeff.
I mean, guys, come on. Do I have to choose bottom 7 or
No, you could pick. I mean,
All right,
you'd be a loser if you picked Josh to be in because
Yeah, it's pretty
he's a
lame, but
cheat,
yeah.
like the
yeah,
Kansas
guys,
City
look,
Chiefs.
it's me.
Kansas City cheat.
It's me here. I'm running in here, full head of steam. Dan Campbell getting that dub against the Texans has my team rolling, even though I don't really have any Lions to stand on. But yeah, man, I don't see myself losing on my way to the championship here this year, boys. So I'm in and I'm all the way in.
Wow. Well, strong stuff from Jeff there. Jeff's team is underperforming, Houston, if you look at it. With his points fourth best points for Jeff. So
But here's the thing.
you can
Here's
certainly
the
make
thing,
a
Dan.
charge.
Here's the mantra that took over when Houston was near the top for a bit, and I made the playoffs, but I didn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He has great players on bad fucking teams. The only great player he has on a good team is Lamar Jackson. Here's your other starting lineup, Jeff. Brees Hall, whatever Madison for Las Vegas, Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers. I guess London's on a decent team with Atlanta. Josh Down. None of these guys are on good teams.
Yeah, you're gonna have the same problem
You'd
they
be
were just talking
fine.
about I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
These guys are playing for contracts. They're playing for their pride. They're playing for money.
Who's in? I mean, I'm not gonna say Forbes because I think I play him this week, and he's got 3 of his starting lineups in buys now. So I mean, although he's gonna go put Patrick Mahomes, the 1 week Patrick Mahomes will have 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, right? But gosh, now I'm like, should I just pick fucking Forbes? His points for suck. Gosh, I don't want to pick myself too. It's pretty fucking gay, and I suck, and I'm angry at the world. Murphy's team isn't good. I should have been more prepared for this.
Here, I'll go. If you want a second, Houston, I'll go.
Yeah, you go ahead, Dan.
All right, I'm gonna go wild card shot here, and I'm gonna go with Murphy because I think Murphy's team doesn't suck like Houston just said. I think it's pretty solid. He's got good running backs, especially, and some decent depth on his team. And maybe I'm a little biased because I picked him as the preseason champion, and I'd love to see this late season charge to make it to the playoffs. But I still think he's just got a little bit of juice in him. So I'm gonna go with Murphy on this one. It's a little bit of a wild card call. But for the guy who was 12th in the rankings for most of this year to jump up into like 9, 10 area, I don't know exactly where he is right now, but he's kind of on the rise a little bit right now, and I'm gonna ride with Murphy for a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I've had you missing the playoffs. That's a bold prediction, right?
Yeah.
I got a bold prediction for who's in. I think it's gonna be a wild 4 weeks, and I hate to say this, Dan, but I'm looking at the teams from Jeff all the way down to Kevin. I'm not looking at Max.
Yeah.
At a 3% chance to make the playoffs. I am choosing the commissioner to make the playoffs. Kevin,
Wow.
I think you're in. And I'm not even doing a cheap trade like we were talking about in our La Liga chat. But you look at his team, it's better than 6 through 12. It really is. Geno Smith's going to put up points. Chase Brown with Cincinnati's been on fire. Kenneth Walker puts up points. Cooper Kupp is back. He's going to put up points. CeeDee Lamb, I think Dallas starts getting fucking hangry. Ninjoku, I think Cleveland has something to prove. Jalen Warren, you got to trade me something for that, buddy, because that's not a great flex. But everywhere else, man, I think he's going to come alive and he's going to win out, go 7-7. And I think there's going to be Dan's going to, yeah, you're going to be not that. You're
Wow.
going to be 7-7 too.
Oh,
It's going to become points for between you and Kevin. And in that span, he has to make up good amount of points, but I think he's gonna.
like 200 or something like that.
Yeah. He's
I
won
I don't hate the Kevin call, Houston. I think that's not bad. I've always liked Kevin's
the odds are
like
just
Kevin's. Yeah, I shouldn't say I liked his team this year, but I've always thought it's been better than what it is, especially his wide receivers are fucking good. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, all right. Moving on here, boys. Let's get to what's next, Houston. Where is it?
That's it. That's all we got. We got the Lions with another win.
Lions another win. We got week 11 matchups though. We got matchup of the week still.
Match of the week. You're right.
Yeah.
Jeff, what do you
Before
like?
we get to match of the week, Jeff, do you have any Lions commentary for us?
Oh God, guys. So I was actually flying into back from LA to Vegas after coaching a camp on a Sunday, that Sunday evening. And so
Were you part of this viral video?
Huh?
Were you from that flight?
No. I more or less what happened though did happen, except that mine wasn't that cool. We were literally taking off, and I'm like watching it on my phone, and as we're taking off, Kyrie Fairborn is lining up to kick, goes, and it cuts mid kick. And the last update I get, because I was flying Spirit and there wasn't Wi-Fi, so I had no idea what happened for 40 minutes.
Oh
I
my
got off
God.
that plane, or we landed. I checked my phone immediately, and I just started hooping and hollering on that plane. People thought I was like going crazy.
They should have like because you guys all saw the viral video of like everyone was on a flight. The announcer came in mid kick, and they're like, "Shut up, stop!"
Yeah.
And then they should be like, on like rich people flights. In reality, it's Jeff on a Spirit Airlines no TV.
Just on my phone, like, oh. Yeah,
No Wi-Fi available for purchase.
Oh boy.
But yeah, no, look, dude, we have made it through the toughest part of our schedule, and I mean, yeah, we've still got a pretty tough schedule ahead, but the team keeps showing they can win games, and if we can keep doing that for what is this, 11 more games all the way to the Super Bowl.
The Dan Campbell comment. That was a great line.
Yeah.
Jeff's talking about when someone in an interview on the ticket asked, why don't you play Zadarius Smith? He goes, we got 11 more games to play with him. If you'd count 11 more games, that 11th game would be the Super Bowl. So Fucking gritty. I thought that was great. It was the first win this season where they had to come back, battle through adversity. It was very Chiefs-like, where the Chiefs haven't been playing great, but still find a way to win because they're winners. And when you can learn through adversity and get a win, it's a good team.
And I mean, I
Yeah.
will say this, like any other Lions game prior to this year, last season, if Jared Goff, Matt Stafford, Joey fucking Harrington throws 5 picks, your hands are in your face at halftime. You're like, let's get the fuck out of here. We're going home. But everyone stuck around, dude. We rode that shit till the end, and everyone believes. So
I was like, cut the fucking cam to Jared on the sideline. I want to see that dog.
yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
the 5 picks is the craziest thing about that game. I think it's just like, how do you win a game where you throw 5 picks? It's nuts.
Wild. I mean,
Nuts, but
they had a couple turnovers too, right? But for sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Matchup of the week, Jeff.
Yeah.
Who do you like? What do you think is key to the last 4 weeks of the regular season?
I mean, look, I could be a homer, choose myself and Anthony because that is the in and out game. But Houston, I'm actually going to give you a shout here and see if you can actually take down Forbes and
Losing streak
usurp him.
teams, yeah.
Because I would say that's the matchup of the week outside of me and Ant. So
Right now, Forbes is projected 57 points. He only got 3 guys. Or he's missing 3 guys though.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes is a solid 17 points, I think, projected. That's not in there now. But yeah, man, I hope I can do that. If I win, then it would then be me and Jeff trying to pull out Anthony. Yeah, if we pull out Anthony, then be you and me in the 5 and 6 spot.
Yeah.
My matchup of the week, I'm going to go with the 4 and 6 teams. Murph and Eric. This is kind of you get into Max territory now, where like Max needs to win out and then have like crazy shit happen to make it. If Murph or Eric win out, they're in, right? That there'll be 8 and 6, either one of them. So this is key to them to go 4 and 7 and then have to win out and be a 7 and 7 team. You're not guaranteed at 7 and 7. Feel like you're guaranteed at a 8 and 6 spot. You usually make it. So this is kind of a do or die for each of them as well. These 4 and 6 teams. I'm going to go with one of them. Dan, you said Merck's going to make it. It starts with beating the other 4 and 6 team with Eric.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I like that call out. I like that call out, Hughes. I would have never guessed you would have picked that game, but I think that's a great pick. Because you're right. Whoever wins that game is all of a sudden in the hunt.
Because I feel like usually in this league, the top and bottom are separate sooner. We were really here until this week.
Yeah.
The top 4 are pretty much set. And so now we got 4 people fighting. After this week, we're gonna have 2. Are we gonna?
I wouldn't say top 4,
but we could have 2. The right games win or lose. You have 2 people fighting for a playoff spot versus 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say. I mean, at 6 and 4, I don't feel like I'm safe, honestly. There, Houston either. 6 and 4 is not a locked-in winning record. Let's just put it that way.
I wonder how it's calculating that percentage. But anyway, in the game, I'm gonna take Eric, and I think I took Eric to make a comeback weeks ago when his divorce was announced to actually make a playoff spot. So maybe I should have took him as my in rather than fucking Kevin. But I when I was doing that bit segment a couple minutes ago, I saw Eric's team and I was like, ew. But he can do that. I'm changing my pick back from my whole soliloquy of Kevin making it. FTC, Eric's making the playoffs. He's in. So yeah, he starts with beating Murph.
All right. My matchup of the week. I wanted to do me and Timmy because that's a big game, 3rd and 4th place.
It is. Do it if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, there's another game here that we haven't touched on. That's a big game too, and that's Jeff and Anthony. I think we might as well call that game out because that's a good one. Yeah, Jeff and Anthony. This is a like 5-6 seed game or something like that. I don't know if either of you guys look at the standings, but 2 right on the precipice of the playoffs. Both of them, I think, are actually in the playoffs. Big week for both you guys here. I mean, Jeff, you lose this game, you're back below 500, right? So if you can win this game, will this be your first time above 500?
I think I was at 500 like for a week, and then I dropped to 5.
Yeah, Well, that would be nice to break into the winners, winner circle, I guess, with that win, right? And Anthony's.
I mean,
It's a good
Dan,
game here.
I like this is where this week and next week, half the games are going to be matchup of the week because of the implication. Because if Anthony won and say Josh, you and/or Timmy, 2 of the 3 lose, Anthony's now like tied for number 1 somewhere. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then Jeff is like on the out at 5 and 6. There's going to be 3 other 5 and 6s potentially. And so now it's like points for and that's where we're talking about next week. There could be 2 teams fighting for a playoff spot, or there could be 4 in the case of, if Jeff, but if Jeff wins, Anthony and him are still gonna be in the playoffs. And then me and the fucking rest of the loser crews are fighting for 1 spot. So I like that one too. Who do you like in the game?
Dude, I like Jeff's team. I think to go and get the win on there. I think he's been hot lately, and I think I'm gonna ride the wave and let Jeff break the curse here.
Dude, I hope so because Anthony's team looks good.
I like Anthony's team. I like Anthony. I like Ron St. Brown and Brian Thomas playing each other. Receivers, like, could see that going off. But Jacksonville like surprisingly sucks.
Yeah.
Jacksonville does surprisingly suck.
Well, their offense sucks, but their defense is good or something, I think.
Oh, really? Well, the fucking quarterback's been hurt too.
Yeah.
What's his face? It's a good game here though, but I like Jeff's team too. I think you're right. He's got good players on not so great teams, but it doesn't feel like your team last year to me, Houston. Maybe I'll put it that way. Like your team, it felt like it was inevitable that it was going to crumble, and Jeff's team,
Fair.
Jeff's team doesn't feel that way to me.
Fair.
Finding ways to win, man.
I had really good running backs on bad teams, where he's spread out across the different positions, which, touches matter more. You can get 20 touches for fucking 30 yards. So
Yeah. All right. That's everyone,
That's
right?
all
For
we
the
got.
matchups. Well, gentlemen, good episode. We'll talk to you boys next week. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Jeff, do you know how we end the show at least, or I don't know? You knew how we started. I guess you decided how we started.
Dude, I think I'm having a brain fart, but I think it begins with an F.
T.
See you later, boys.
So good.
We can all agree